Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. I'm really delighted to be given this opportunity to hold this class. And first, some just technical requests. If you please be so kind to mute your microphones and perhaps even your cameras, because I won't be able to see you, so that the internet connection is as smooth as possible. And we may start. Many thanks to all girls, Karin, Dagmar, and especially to Marina for a very nice and warm welcome. And let us move into the exercise itself. As Marina kindly mentioned, I'm engaged in this exercise on weekly basis in our classes, and I have experienced that the theory is quite heavy and rather complicated. So I have prepared just a few slides to give you some theoretical background so that each of us can benefit from the exercise as much as possible. This won't take any long. This is just really few slides just to explain the base of the exercise, which is important, especially for those who have not come across the concept of tattvas, as explained by Swami Satyananda and Arthur Avalon, and as part of the ancient philosophy Samkhya. Perhaps a picture would help better to understand what we're going to do. This picture actually shows us various parts in our subtle body which are used as reservoirs, as storages for particular tattvas. And I get back now to the previous slide. And tattvas themselves, often referred to as elements as well, they are just types of energy which are potentiated by a certain type of information. And according to Samkhya philosophy, the bulk of these energies is constituting the microcosm as well as the macrocosm, which means that any living creature, any living organism on Earth is consisting of a particular of a bulk of these energies, and the equilibrium of these energies helps us to keep a good quality of life. These five basic tattvas, according to Samkhya philosophy, are earth, water, fire, air, and ether, which is probably the best translation of the concept of akasha, which is quite abstract for many people. So, as mentioned already, the entire organism, the entire body, consists of all of these five elements, which means that each of them is present in every single cell in our body. It is also present in the way we are thinking. It is also present in the way we feel emotions. And in our body, there are reservoirs of each of these five elements from which this energy is drawn to that particular cell or function of the body when it is exactly necessary and required at that very moment. Consequently, what we can do is that we can enhance and support the reservoirs by either increasing or harmonizing or balancing, moderating the particular energy types, and thus create a better starting position for our everyday life, because the body can work on its own and draw the particular energy from that particular reservoir to where it is exactly required. How it is done is a way which you certainly know. The regulators of particular elements are actually chakras. which means that each of the 5 base chakras is linked to the particular element, and it's used as a regulator, and the energy itself flows through nadis. I'm sure that you must have seen this picture, this ancient picture describing nadis. These are the energetical channels through which the energy flows in the body. We also have this alternative on the white surface, but it is very poorly visible, not just on this presentation, but in general. The picture is very old. There is no other version of it, and it is very hard to decipher the individual information drawn on that picture. So this is also another alternative of looking at the elements, at the tattvas, because the tattvas are actually manifested in the nadis as well, because this is the way through which they flow. The entire purpose of the exercise is to invigorate, or better, reinvigorate the individual tattva reservoirs, and thus help to purify the nadis and allow for an unobstructed and very free flow of energy according to the body needs. So this was just a very brief theoretical explanation. I now return back to the picture describing the reservoirs in the body, because this is crucial for our practice of asanas. The 5 elements and the reservoirs corresponding to them have their particular parts, or individual parts of the body are linked with the reservoirs. I will just use the first one as perhaps the easier explanation, and that's the reservoir of the earth energy. That is the earth element, and the reservoir is actually in the body. I hope you can see me now, and you can see it also on the picture. From the very soles up to the center of our thighs. You can see it depicted on the picture. It's in the yellow colored block. And what we'll do in the exercise, we will try to concentrate on this part of the body by both doing the asana, where we either push or twist this part of the body, also keeping our attention in this very particular part of the body, and try as breathe into this particular part, although anatomically it's not possible, of course. So the exercises will be very simple. I will now move on to them. I could not find any good pictures of this, so I had to draw them myself. So apologies for the very simplistic pictures. So you can see that we will just do very simple asanas. These will be dynamic asanas by which we will somehow create more tension in that particular part of the body. Like you see in the first picture, we will be lying on our back with our legs up, lifted up, and as if pushing to something, and that will create the tension in that particular part of the body. And then later on, there will be, of course, more asanas for individual elements. So this is all regarding the theoretical presentation. I hope I can now successfully stop share this. Great. Okay. So much for my technical knowledge. And we can now start with the individual exercise. As Dagmar mentioned, please feel free to ask any questions. Best it would be at the end of the exercise. So you may write them down to the group, to the chat, group chat, so that everybody else can see them and they are not repeated. And we have dedicated some time at the end of the exercise for answering the questions, if I'm able to. So we can now start, and to get to a good physical, mental, and emotional shape for yoga, please lie down on your backs to Shavasana. Perhaps I should also show this just to make sure that everybody can follow. This is just a very short Shavasana for the initial relaxation and getting the vibes to zero. The destructive vibes to zero, to be able to switch our attention to our inner world. So please lay down in your Shavasana, pull your head up from the shoulders as if you want to be a little bit taller. Put your shoulders down towards the pelvis and relax the legs and the arms. Take a deep inhale and deep exhale. And draw your attention to the breathing. Watch your inhale and exhale as they are getting calmer, slower, yet more deep. And now move your attention to your face, in particular to your forehead, and relax the forehead. Now move on and relax the area of your eyes. Now relax the area of your jaw, of your chin. Relax the tongue, the neck, the shoulders. Relax both arms. Relax both hands. And on your hands, the palms and all fingers. Now return with your attention to your trunk, to the area of your heart, and relax this entire area. Relax the stomach area, the diaphragm. Relax all abdominal and the entire abdominal area, all abdominal muscles. Including the lower abdominal muscles, the bottom of the pelvis, and the hips. Relax the thighs, the knees, and lower part of your legs, the ankles, the feet, and the toes. Now try to realize the entire body, noting its tranquility, its peace. Watching as the only part in the body moving is the diaphragm, which allows the breathing. Now try to note the energetical body. You may know that there are several bodies according to yoga. Annamaya kosha is the physical body, which we have just relaxed. And there are further subtle bodies, energetical bodies. Pranayama kosha. And further, even more subtle. You may now note your subtle energetical body shining through the physical body. And you may try to remember its size, its imprint, to have something at the end of the class to compare it with. Now take a deep inhale and deep exhale, finishing this very short relaxation. You may move with your fingers and your toes on your feet just a little. And then with the next deep inhale, lift up your arms, join the fingers, join the legs, and stretch the body in its entirety on the floor, as if waking up in the morning, second time this morning. Then stretch the body to all directions that you like, that you feel for, that you deem fit at this very moment, fully stretching the body. First, we will engage in the preparatory exercises to both warm up the body, to activate it. It's morning and it's winter, so it's quite necessary to prepare all our muscles and joints for any exercise. So we'll start with a very simple exercise on our back, but lift it on our forearms with a very simple bicycle exercise. So we may start engaging in this exercise. Try to synchronize the movement with your breathing. Include the feet to the motion. If it becomes too difficult, you may try to move the legs more above the body, where it's less difficult. Or you may, of course, stop and take a short break before moving on. The aim of the exercise is just to warm up the body, and we're starting from the very core, in the area of our navel, warming it up and activating this part of the body. We will definitely need it for the asanas themselves, because this part will be working really hard. We may now finish, and just to relax a little in a short relaxation. I would hope that you are familiar in the ancient or traditional ways of or schools of yoga, that each of the asana includes a short relaxation. So a relaxation is a part of the asana and allows us to feel and note the sensations followed by practicing asana. As now, for example, the feeling of warmth spreading from the center, from the core to the entire trunk. And we will now continue. So again, with a deep inhale, please stretch the entire body on the floor. And with the help of your hands, please get up to Dandasana. It's a sitting pose with the legs straight. We will lift our arms and we will do a very simple twist. In this center position, we inhale and we twist to the side as if kissing the floor with the exhale. And then again up to the center with the inhale and to the other side with the exhale. The movement originates in the shoulders, so do not push the pelvis to the side. We are not trying to twist our trunk in its entirety. This is your first twist, first movement of the trunk. Please synchronize the movement with the breathing. Exhale when twisted. Inhale when up in the center. And one last time. Please finish on the other side, on the second side, on the left side. And then again, a very short relaxation in Shavasana. We will now twist the trunk even more in one of the many variations of Makarasana, the spinal exercises. So please put your arms to the sides with the palms facing up, the head pulled up from the shoulders pushed down towards the pelvis, both legs very close to each other. We are lying in a big cross. And please lift the right leg and put it on the knee of the left leg. I hope it's visible. Yeah, I would hope so, that everybody can see that and can make sure that the right leg is placed correctly with the sole on the left knee. Take a deep inhale, hold the breath and twist the pelvis to the left and head to the right. Make sure that the right shoulder is in contact with the floor. And return back with the exhale. Keep the leg up. We will do the same twist 4 times. So again, inhale, hold the breath, twist. And with exhale, return back to the center. At all times, make sure that the right shoulder and shoulder blade are still in touch with the floor. And when repeating the twist for the 4th time, we stay in the twisted position. We may hold the knee with our hand. Relax the breathing. Breathe normally. Relax the entire trunk and just push the knee down to the floor, providing even further twist of the body of the trunk. But the entire trunk is relaxed. So it becomes very simple and gentle. Yet still make sure that the right shoulder and the shoulder blade are on the floor in contact. Breathe normally. Relax your face. Relax your trunk. And with the next exhale, we may return back to the center and put the leg down on the floor. We have to adjust a bit the cross. We may have moved from the X. So adjust the position and feel and note the sensations. Now we may feel, for example, a very strong disbalance in the body, having done the exercise just on one side. So we will now compensate it by doing the same exercise on the other side. So we lift the left leg, put it on the knee of the right leg, and we do the same exercise on the other side. So I hope everyone's got their legs correct. Deep inhale, holding the breath, twist of the pelvis to the right and head to the left. And with the exhale, returning back to the center. And again, 4 repetitions, while the 4th one will be a static one. Try to twist the body as much as possible, yet still keeping the contact between the left shoulder and the left shoulder blade with the floor, with the mat. And the 4th repetition, again, a static one. Put your right hand on the left knee and push it down to the floor. Relax the breathing, relax the entire trunk, relax your face. And try to twist the body as much as possible using the knee, and from the knee, the twist is actually made. Try to relax the entire trunk. Breathe naturally, normally. Keep the left shoulder on the floor. And with the next exhale, we may return now to the center and put all our legs and arms to Shavasana for short relaxation. With the next inhale, lift up your arms again, join the legs and stretch to the length. And with the exhale, lift up the right leg and pull the knee towards the chest. Hold the knee with your hands, lift up the head and try to touch the forehead with the knee. With the inhale, stretch the body to the length. And then with the exhale, the left leg. With the inhale again, stretch the body. And with the exhale, both legs. Now repeat the entire exercise one more time. Having repeated it second time, short Shavasana. We may now feel the body waking up, all the energies starting to vibrate. The temperature of the body rising. With the next inhale, again, stretch the body and turn on your back, on your belly, apologies, on your belly. I will also have to turn with my head to the camera so that I can see what I'm doing. We will now do a short exercise for our lower spine. It's in a Bhujangasana, but it's a very simple pose. We will use our hands just a little, and we will lift one leg and then the other with the exhale as high as possible. So this is the exhaling position, and this is the inhaling position. The leg which remains on the floor is relaxed. It's the lower spine, lower back, which works for us to lift up the leg, and of course the leg itself. This very simple exercise allows us to get some exercise for the lower back, which is often a very weak part on average in any body. And because today we will be engaged heavily in this part of the body, we have to prepare it and get it activated so that there are no injuries. We may now finish with the other leg, with the second leg, with the left leg, and just relax a little on the floor, putting your head on any cheek and your arms on the side, palms facing up. Take a deep exhale and relax all muscles. Now a very similar pose. Again, lift up to this simple Bhujangasana. Again, in the center, we inhale, and with the exhale, we try to look back to the side as far as possible. So we have to lift the trunk as much as possible. And with the inhale, we are in the center, and with the exhale, we look at the other side. And the last repetition. We may finish with a twist and looking up on our left side, and then lay down on the floor. Turn the head on the other cheek this time and relax a little. Now gently get up to the cat pose, to the tiger pose. So make sure the wrists are just right under the shoulders and that the knees are just right under the hips. First, we engage in a classical breathing pattern formula. So with the inhale, our head and pelvis are up. With the exhale, we push the back, the spine up towards the ceiling. So engage in as high the movement or as a extreme the movement as possible. The body is now prepared. It's warmed up, so there won't be any injuries, and we can move freely with our spine. Now we change the breathing formula. We stay with our spine pushed up to the ceiling, and we inhale in this position, and then move with the exhale to the position where we have inhaled before. So it's reversed breathing formula. We inhale with our spine pushed up towards the ceiling, and we exhale while pulling the belly down to the floor. You may watch a very gentle and very subtle differences in effects of the asana, just because of the change of the breathing formula. Now we add one more, a little movement. With the inhale, we also push the pelvis a little bit back towards the soles, which allows us to stretch the shoulders, the arms, and with the exhale again, back to the same position. You may realize how the muscles on the sides of the spine of the back are actually stretched, including all muscles on the shoulder blades. You may feel the stretching of your arms down to the fingers on your hands. And with the next one, we inhale, and with the exhale, we sit down on our soles to Shashankasana, to Yoga Mudra, our forehead on the floor, arms relaxed on the floor, and we enjoy Yoga Mudra or Shashankasana as a relaxing pose. We may now roll up to Vajrasana, to sitting pose. We need one more stretching. and that will be dynamic camel Ustrasana. So lean on the floor with your hands behind the body. And with the inhale, we lift up the pelvis and try to push it as up as possible, stretching all muscles in the front areas of our body. And with the exhale, the pelvis returns back on the soles, the head forward bent with the chin pushed on the chest. Again, the movement is fully synchronized with the breathing. In the inhale, we try to stretch the entire body, including the arms. And when exhaling, we are stretching the upper back and the neck. And we may finish now the dynamic Ustrasana and relax a little in the child pose in Balasana. Again, with the forehead on the floor, the arms right next to the body, but gently put on the floor, on the mat, palms facing up. The child pose, Balasana. We may now roll up to the sitting Vajrasana. And we will engage in a mountain pose, which is also referred to as the downward facing dog. So please find the right position for you, which is stable and where you feel safe, so that your soles and the hands are not moving. And enjoy the pose as relaxing, while still stretching a little the muscles on the back of our legs. The head falls down, relaxed. There is no pressure in the neck. Try to keep your legs straight, to keep the soles on the floor. And try to have the back, the trunk and the arms in one line, thus creating a mountain, pushing the pelvis up to the ceiling. The position is both relaxing and stretching the legs on their back parts. Now, after all the stretching, we do a little activation of the muscles. Move to the plank pose. You may need to adjust the position of the feet so that you are comfortable in the pose. One line from the head to the soles. The entire body working, the hands pushing to the floor, the entire trunk activated, the sitting area activated, the thighs activated, the legs activated. Try to breathe as naturally as possible. The entire body is strong and activated. Now twist to Kasyapasana on one side, still holding one line from the head to the soles. The entire body strong, the trunk strong, both arms strong. At least 4 inhales, exhales in each variation. And now we twist and change the sides. Kasyapasana on other side. At least 4 inhales, exhales in each variation. And then back again to the center. Holding a nice plank from the head to the soles. If it's too hard, take a break, or you may finish. But if you can, get down on the forearms and just hold one more variation of the plank pose. Again, at least 4 inhales and 4 exhales. We may finish now and lay back on the back to Shavasana for a short relaxation. Take a deep inhale and deep exhale. Make sure your Shavasana is correct. Pull up the head from the shoulders. Push the shoulders down towards the pelvis and then relax. You may note various sensations in your body. The bloodstream running widely. The heartbeat quite high. All the energies awaken, body activated and prepared. After the regular sensations disappeared after the heavy plank pose, draw your attention again to your subtle energetical body. To your battery, we may also say. You may now compare the imprint of your energetical body against the version at the very beginning of the class when we had the first relaxation. The body is now much more invigorated, awakened, energies boosted. So this was our preparation for the exercise itself, the warm-up and morning exercise for the muscles, a little for the joints. I have not introduced any more exercises because of the lack of time and also because of the exercises which are ahead of us. This should be just sufficient for the asanas which are ahead of us. So we may now stretch again with the inhale, arms lifted up, legs joined, and then gently lift up to sitting pose, to Vajrasana. So that we may start. I think I should mention before each of the elements the basics again, so that we can understand better the way how we should engage in the exercise. Apologies, I've just noted that there is a sign of our desk. So we will start from the bottom, from the most robust of the elements. And the most robust of all elements is the earth element. I should mention that although, for example, when we deal with the water elements, some may link the water element with the water in the body itself. But this is not correct. Of course, there is water in the body and there is no earth. But the point is that elements or tattvas, they have certain type of information which is linked to that type of energy. And that type of information is best described by using the words earth, water, fire, air, and akasha. So we should not search in our body the signs of water or the signs of earth as a natural element, as a stone, but instead we now just very briefly discuss, or I will explain the attributes of the earth energy, of the earth tattva, earth element. These are strength, stability, memory, roots. And I would repeat again that in the body, the earth element is stored in the reservoir, which is from the soles to the middle of the thighs. So what we'll do is a very simple asana. We will lay down. I will first show the asana and then we will engage in it. We will lay down on our back with the palms put down to help us to keep the balance better, with our legs lifted, and we will just push the legs as if there is some wall that we would like to push further. Of course, we should not pull the knees as far as, I should put it like this, as far as the belly. This is just for me to explain. So we'll try to keep the knees below the pelvis. Okay, so we may now engage in the asana. So first, lie down and try to move your attention to the area of the reservoir of the earth element. So it's in the legs, from the soles, approximately to the center of the thighs. And it's the most robust tattva energy, the most material, substantial, or substantive, I should say, in our lives and in our body. It represents attributes such as strength, stability, health, memory, reliability in our lives, roots. And we may now engage in asana. Try to keep your attention in the area of the reservoir. Try to breathe into reservoir and watch any sensations that appear. If it's too much, take a short break. And then engage again. Push the feet as if there really would be something that you would like to push from yourself. We may now finish the asana. Relax in Shavasana. And watch sensations that pop up in your body or in your mind or in your emotions. You may notice, for example, that this area of the body is somehow larger. Its volume is bigger. Its size is bigger. The battery of your earth tattva has been charged. may also feel suddenly stronger, healthier, rooted, better rooted. Sensations are very individual. Take a deep inhale and deep exhale. And we will move up to the next tattva, the next element. We may again stretch to the length and get up for the sitting pose, just to see better the explanation. The water energy in our body has its reservoir situated from approximately the middle of the thighs to the navel. So it's the entire area of the pelvis, a little bit up higher, up to the navel, and a little bit down to the middle of the thighs. The exercise which we will do is very similar. We will move very similarly with our legs. It's just that the position will be different. We will be in the Naukasana. I will very quickly show what we will do. We will do this exercise, trying to keep the attention in the area of the reservoir of the water energy, trying to keep all focus on this in this area. And before we move to the exercise itself, I will mention that water energy, water tattva in our lives, in the physical level, brings us all the purifying processes. You know that according to Ayurveda, the apana energy, which brings out all the waste from the body, is moving from the navel down. So in the body, tattva, water tattva is linked to apana energy because it cleanses the lower part of the body, all the elements, all the waste that remained after the digestion, the blood, in case of women, the urine, but also a child when it's delivered by a woman, it's also linked to water energy because it's the same flow of apana. In our lives, the water tattva is linked to all the creativity we can think of, including the sexuality, the fertility, emotions, love, anything you can link to the creativity. There is a lot which is available in the area of creativity. And in this part of the body, we create one of the biggest products of our creation, and that's a child. It's not just a feminine issue, but also masculine issue. So these attributes are linked to water tattva. So before we start the exercise, we lay down a little on in the Shavasana again to find again the correct balance in our body, in our mind, in our emotions. Take a note again of the subtle energetical body. We may now draw our attention to the reservoir of water energy, water tattva, in the area from the center of our thighs to the navel. It will be very easy to breathe into this part of the body. We will be breathing into the abdomen. And we may start engaging in the asana. So we get up to Naukasana. And we again start to push with the legs. Keep the attention in the reservoir of water tattva. Breathe into it. If it's too much, you may take a break again. And if you have made a break, engage again. And we may now finish the asana and then lay down again to Shavasana. Take a deep inhale and deep exhale. And note any sensations that pop up in the area of the reservoir of water energy. And in your mind, in your emotions. Sensations may appear again as if this part of the body is somehow bigger, the same size as our legs, which in comparison to the upper part of the trunk is really large, boosted, as if our battery would be charged. Thoughts may have arrived, emotions may have arrived, sexual arousal may have arrived. Take a deep inhale and deep exhale. Stretch the body again to the length. And lift up to the sitting pose. The next tattva is fire tattva. Its reservoir is situated from the navel up to the shoulders, to the collarbones. So it's not the shoulders themselves, but it's up to the collarbones. The arms are not included in the fire element. It is very intuitive that what the fire brings into our lives, both in the physical level, digestion, and in the emotional and mental level. So it's the anger, the drive, ambition, and all sorts of fire-related attributes in our life. I think I apologize, but I think I have to pull the curtains. Suddenly there is a sun in our garden, and I think you cannot see me properly. In our bodies, it brings all the heat, all the transformation of the food that we eat into nutrition. It also means purification by fire, because the fire has the cleansing attribute in itself. What we will practice is a downward and upward facing dog pose. I will just very briefly show the pose. Again, it is dynamic. And I think it will be much easier than the ones before. And before we start doing it and engaging it, please again lie down on the floor, on the mat, to Shavasana, just to pick up the feelings, the sensations in the body before we start to engage in the asana. So the reservoir of the fire tattva is in the upper part of the trunk, from the navel up to the collarbones. It's the heat, the drive, the transformation, all emotions of manipulating and being manipulated, for example. This is all linked with too much or too little of a fire tattva. So stretch the body, lifting the arms, twist on your belly, and get up to the dog pose and engage in the movement while breathing. Keep your attention in the reservoir of fire element, of fire tattva. Try to breathe into this part of the body. And one last time. And again, lay down on the floor to Shavasana, to have the body in the same pose, to be able to watch any differences, any sensations that pop up in the area of the fire element, or in your mind, or in your emotional body. You may also notice the rise of your body temperature. Fire Tattva is about the heat. So you may feel much warmer after it, after the exercise. Sensations are individual, but for example, you may again note as if this part of the body would be enlarged too, the same size, the same volume, same energy, same battery as the lower elements of earth and water. Take a deep inhale and deep exhale. Stretch the body again to the length, lifting up the arms and joining the legs. And get up to the sitting pose of Vajrasana. For the fourth tattva, fourth element, which is the air element, Vayu. The reservoir of the air element in our body is situated in the area from the collarbones up to the eyebrows. This is because the upper part of our head creates the crown again around our head, and it's linked and it's in its reservoir of Akashic energy. So it's only up to the eyebrows that the air energy, air tattva, is stored in our subtle energetic body. I realized that I did not mention the chakras linked to individual tattvas. The chakras linked to the air energy is Anahata, situated next to the heart. And from this storage, Anahata draws through nadis the energy and then distributes it to the rest of the body. It works the same way in case of all other elements linked with individual chakras. In our body and in our lives, air energy is the lightest of all. It is constantly moving. It is the easiness and the lightness of being that is brought into our lives through the air energy, through the air tattva. We will do a very simple exercise, sitting on the floor, and just moving with our head. We may lean on our hands just to be really comfortable, and we will be just moving the heads in very simple movements, trying to get to the full circle of our head, and thus creating again the push of the energy in this area. So first, as before as well, lay down a little to Shavasana to be able to concentrate on the energetical subtle body. So the reservoir of the air energy in our body is situated from the collarbones up, the shoulders, the neck, and the face up to the eyebrows. Its regulator is the fourth chakra, Anahata, and it brings us the lightness, the easiness, the coolness. So we may lift up to the sitting pose, lean against your hands, your arms comfortably. Try to keep the trunk as straight as possible, but without too much efforts. We need all our concentration on the air, tattva, on the air energy. So we'll start first with a very simple movements, backward and forward bend. You may already realize that you are moving with the entire reservoir of this air energy, almost entire. There are shoulders as well, which are also part of the air tattva. Having done some of them, we may finish now and move the head to the sides. There are many variations of the movement of the head in this pose. They are all part of Pavan Muktasanas described by Swami Satyananda. So we will do just the 3 of them, and we may now finish the side movement and now try to do the full circles with our head. Try to keep your attention in the reservoir of air tattva. Try to breathe into this reservoir. And we may now change the direction. We may now finish the exercise and lay down a bit to Shavasana. You may feel the easiness and the lightness of your being. The air, the movement, the change, constant movement, easiness. You may also note the energetical body, except for the cap on the head. That is somehow still different. It's because that's the one remaining part, while the rest of this subtle energetical body has been reinvigorated, balanced, and harmonized. So take a deep inhale and deep exhale. Stretch the body to the length. And again, lift up to Vajrasana, to the last of our tattvas on our agenda today. The most abstract one, the most difficult to comprehend. Its reservoir is situated not only within the body, but also outside of the body. It's a shape of a sphere around our head in all directions. And this sphere is crossing our head in the area of the eyebrows, in the line of the eyebrows. It's also, it can be also described by a crown on our head, like not the British crown, which is closed, but with a crown showing with all the pointing parts up towards the higher levels of being. It is the most abstract of all. It is the type of energy that is present in our lives through meditation. It is the area or the space in which we can experience no limits, the vast void of the space. And of course, depending on each individual's vision and belief, there may be connections to upper levels of being, and it may be very intimate for each of us. The first no, we will only do one asana for this tattva, and it's similar to the concept is the same. We will try to create a pressure or a tension. We will do an exercise which may be different for the leg joints. We have created together with my teacher 2 alternatives. One alternative would be that the legs would be changed like this, which we will have to get up a bit and create a little pressure with that crown. You may imagine that there is a crown on your head and that you are getting up again and pushing against the ceiling. The second alternative is if in a Supta Vajrasana, if your joints on your legs allow you to sit between your soles and one of the legs remains straight, and you would just switch and change the legs. So you may choose any of the 2 asanas. I will do the first one. And we can now start. So please close your eyes for some time and realize the part of your body in the upper part of your head, about the eyebrows and up in the shape of a sphere or a sphere, and there is a crown around it. Now lift up your arms. You may join the palms. Lift up one leg. And now change the legs, which will also push the head up against like a glass ceiling. You don't see it, but you push against it with your head. And the last repetition. You may finish now and lay down to Shavasana. The sensations that may appear are very individual. We may also note that our entire subtle energetical body is now complete, boosted. Our energies very high. And we may now engage in the final relaxation and short meditation in Shavasana, which will allow us to integrate a little the experience that we have so please, while relaxing in Shavasana, try to concentrate your attention on your subtle energetical body. You may now compare it to the imprint at the beginning of the class and in the center, in the middle of the lecture, when we have finished the preparatory exercises. You may feel that each of the 5 tattvas is reinvigorated. That your energetical body is boosted, as if your battery would be charged. You may have experienced different sensations in individual tattvas. That's because they are not all harmonized in our body, in our everyday life. Some need more elevation, while others need rather moderation because of too high element. We may as well practice asanas just for an individual tattva in case we feel that we need to work particularly with just particular tattva. Today we have though practiced all 5 of them one by one, starting with the most solid or most material one up to the most abstract akasha. You may also experience the effects after the class, during the day. You may note that you are feeling somehow bigger, stronger, invigorated. You may feel that you are capable of doing anything. You have such a strength. You feel need of creation to let out your thoughts, to realize your thoughts, to change them into words or into paintings or into sexuality. You may also feel drive for something, for changing something. While at the same time feeling the lightness of being. And keeping connection to the upper levels through akasha and higher. You may now take a deep inhale and deep exhale. Move a little with your fingers and your toes. And then with the next deep inhale, lift up your arms, join the legs, and stretch the body to the length. And then to all sides, all directions that you like, that you feel like, as if waking up third time this morning. Then twist on your left side. Lay a little on your left side. Open your eyes And then get up to the sitting pose. And this is the end of our lecture, of our class this morning. Thank you very much for your attention so far. I hope you have enjoyed it. I hope you have had some experiences, sensations. It is very difficult online, but I would still hope that each of us have had a good exercise on his or her own